Hi, everybody. My name is Josh Wennis, and I'm going to kind of do a little in the bag kind of deal for disc golf. First off, as you can see, I've got all sorts of fun stuff in the background here. It's the only time that I could really get to do this, so I apologize if the audio is a little funky with my laptop, but we'll see how it works. Um, I'm pretty new to disc golf. I've been playing since about May or June of last year, so less than a year, which not very much time to get very good or anything like that. But I love the sport. It's a lot of fun. I found it through YouTube, actually through it, a long way of going through it. I watched the a lot of the trick shot videos from Dude Perfect, and they had Brody Smith on, and that got me in a rabbit hole down Brody Smith's trick shots that he used to do with the ultimate frisbee. And then it popped up that he was playing disc golf, and so I started watching some of that, and I became enamored with the sport, diving headfirst into Jomez, the whole 9 yards. So here we go. I started playing thanks to a buddy of mine who is local that plays at a local course, and it's been a blast. I absolutely love it. Let's dive right into kind of what I'm throwing a little bit, what I'm throwing, what I'm going to be throwing, and what I use them for, and also some stuff that I'm going to be incorporating into my game to try. And let's start with the opposite of what a lot of people start with. I'm going to start with the putters. I'm going to start with what I putt with, and that is my main putter right now is this awesome Cosmic Electron Firm Envy. I absolutely love the Envy. It's not the first putter that I used. When I first started off, I became really enamored with the Deputy from Dynamic Discs, and I like it because it feels nice in the hand, and the Envy does that too. And I like Envy because it's a little less, or I'm sorry, a little more stable. It's got a little bit less turn on it. The Deputy is a -2 turn. This is a -1, and I like the low profile, and it's beadless, so I like that a lot. Big time Envy lover. I also have two backup Envies with me in my bag. Those are just another Cosmic Electron Soft. This is a little bit different, but I like the feel of these Cosmic Electrons. I like the soft too. The firm's great. Like I have no problem with that. The soft is a little bit more grippy. And I kind of like that at times too, especially if it gets a little bit colder. And then I have this one. I had to absolutely get this one. This is too good. So this is an Electron Flex, medium flex, excuse me. And I had to get the alien stamp on that. Absolutely love it. Um, Big time fan of the Envy through Axiom, throw gyro, the whole 9 yards. Love it. So let's move on to what I'm throwing with, which is a little bit different. In my bag, I have this awesome pink hand eye stamp Deputy. I know I talked about the Deputy. I don't really putt with this, but what I'll do is I use this a lot for some hyzer flip shots and flex shots if I need it with a putter. Like this disc a lot. Again, it's the same thing, that low profile, and it's a little bit of a gummier because it's the prime burst uh, plastic, which I absolutely love the feel of that. And then I also putt with a super soft Wizard. Get that up there. There we go. I like the Wizard a lot. It's a little bit low profile. It's not quite as low. It does have a little bit of, I guess, a micro bead or a small bead. But I like this because it's nice and straight. And yeah, having that zero turn on there is really nice for up shots specifically. I like it a lot for that, backhand up shots. And then I also have a Paul Macbeth Tour Series Luna. I don't use this as much as I think I would if I had a different plastic, because this is the Tour Series, so it's the Z plastic. It's real slick, and I don't really like that. It feels slippery for me, but I still like the disc. Don't get me wrong, I like the disc a lot. I love the path of it. I love the flight path, and it looks nice. It's a pretty disc. But I do use it for up shots as well. Maybe shots with a little bit more distance, that kind of thing that I need to keep straight with a little bit of fade, just a tiny little bit of fade, or a turnover shot. I have this guy to do that for me. Those are my putters. Let's move on here to while I'm talking about putters. One putter that I'm going to be trying this year out just a little bit to see how I feel about it is actually the Keystone from Latitude 64. I like this a lot. I found this at Titan Disc Golf in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I really like this an awful lot. I like the feel of it. I like the plastic. It's a lower profile, and it's got similar flight numbers. I'm also going to start using this, throwing this off the tee and that kind of thing to see how that feels. But I'm interested to try this out. As far as mid ranges go, I carry 1, 2, 3, 4 mid ranges with me out on the course. The first I'll go through is kind of the ones that are tried and true, the ones that I've used an awful lot and get a lot of use out of. The first is my Glow Buzz. I like this buzz. What's cool about this, I'm going to share a little story. You can see up here a lot of discoloration compared to the blue that it's supposed to be. Reason behind that is I threw this into the water, into a pond at Luther College here in Decorah, Iowa. And only spot where there's water, and it's not even actually the hole that has the water on it. I grip locked real bad and threw it in the water. And then like 4 or 5 months later, the water started to rescind in the pond a little bit as the weather got colder, and I managed to find this guy. So I was pretty stoked about that, but hence the discoloration there. But I like this disc a lot. I like the buzz. I mean, I think everybody throws, pretty much everybody that has a mixed bag throws a buzz. And it's a great disc. This one is my glow disc too. So this is my glow mid range. I'll go through some of my other glow discs after a bit, but this is the mid range, my go-to, especially if I'm going backhand. I like this an awful lot. Next up is another Z Buzz, but this one's a purple Z Buzz, kind of the crystal Z, if you will. This is a little bit of a different disc. I don't use it for backhands all that much. I actually use it more for flicks, especially if I'm trying to get something that's going to fly, if I need a little bit of a flex to it. This is going to be my flick disc. I have used it for a little bit of approaching, but I've kind of gone away from that, and you'll find out why here shortly. But then one of my other go-to mid-ranges, and this one I actually might throw more than my Buzz, is my M3, 300 series M3. This is another one that I actually lost and then found back. It was a couple times I've lost this actually. I lost it in the water and found it back, thank goodness, because I love this plastic. And then another time I lost it, actually, it was at about eye level in a tree, and it was like this, so I couldn't see it, and a bunch of foliage and just a mess. But eventually found it back, and I love this disc. I throw this a lot on shorter holes, like 180, 200 feet, and good straight mid range with the reliable fade at the end, and it's worked great for me. And then the newest mid range in my bag that I have that I'm experimenting with a little bit more is a Jawbreaker Zone with the awesome Rainbow OTB stamp. Shout out to Only the Best Discs. I get so many discs from these guys. OTB is phenomenal, but this Jawbreaker Zone is new to me. I've only used it I've only had it out for maybe like 5 or 6 rounds, but I like it a lot. I don't use it for distance. I'm using it for short little flicks that I need for approach shots. That's a stronger part of my game, being new. I don't have any ultimate background or anything like that. I do have a baseball and slow pitch softball background. So the motion, like, a forehand motion is a little bit more traditional for me as opposed to a backhand. But this thing, I love this. I love how gummy it is. I love the stickiness, the tackiness, so that it's going to not skip on me or anything like that. It'll just catch. And lower profile, which feels great for the forehand. I absolutely love it. And that stamp is just absolutely killer. I love the OTB space stamp and the Jawbreaker plastic. Beautiful, beautiful disc. So there's my mid ranges. Let's move on here to my fairway drivers, which this is going to be the biggest part of my bag because, to be honest, I don't throw anything distance driver-ish. I don't have the arm speed for it. I don't feel like. I've tried throwing a few, and unless they're beat all the crap and they're really, really understable, I just don't have the arm for them yet, or distance for that matter. So it's something I'm working up to and everything like that. I'm hoping this season to make some big strides in that going forward. But let's move on here to my game as far as these fairway drivers go. I'm going to go with the Old Faithful first. I want to talk about this guy. This is a disc. I actually didn't buy it. I found it the first time I was out playing with the buddy that I mentioned before, Josh Shimmick. we were looking for a different disc, his disc, and I found this disc, had no name, no number on it. There wasn't any, course stand or any nearby shop that I could leave it at in case somebody found it. But it's been really great to me, and that is a Barry Schultz Champion Leopard. Not a Leopard 3, a Leopard. 6 speed, five glide, -2, 1 fade. Uh, I love this disc. I absolutely love this disc. It has been incredibly consistent for me and great for my arm speed. 6 speed, so I don't need to, I can crank it. I haven't turned it over or anything like that, but it's a disc that I can pull out on just about any hole and throw a reliable backhand with. So definitely my favorite disc in my bag, period, is the Champion Leopard from Barry Schultz. I actually lost this one again, lost it, but ended up getting it back, thank goodness. And when I lost it, I ended up buying like probably like 4 other Champion Leopards just because I couldn't risk not having one in my bag. So love the Champion Leopard. Look forward to using it more and more this year again, and hopefully, you know, getting some better arm strength so that I can throw some of these other discs that I've got in here as well. Next up, let's go into a disc that I haven't used a whole lot to the point that it's still got the price tag on the back of it. Let me take care of that. That's embarrassing. And that's another Champion Innova, but an Eagle. I know a lot of people rant and rave about the Eagle. I've only used it a few times. I haven't really gotten the full feel of the disc yet. So I'm still working on it, hoping to increase my use with this one as well. Next up is a disc that I got originally just because I really liked the color and the stamp, but then in using it out on the course, I've been really, really happy with it. And that's the Discraft Undertaker. It's an Andrew Presnell um, disc, not his Tour Series disc. This would be I think it's Black Ink Discs that does this stamp. But I absolutely love it. It's the Presnell stamp, the Ram. It's a green, kind of yellowish on the backside. Disc, really pretty, but I like the way that it flies. I know that it's a little bit less, or it's a little bit more stable than what I'm generally used to as far as throwing. But so far, this has been pretty good to me. I'll continue to throw it and see how it goes. That's one of those discs I've kind of got in there for depending on where I'm playing, and then also if I'm going to throw field work, I'll bring that along. Next up, we have. I'm just going to pull the rest out of the box here. Let's see. Next up, I have another disc that I actually found that's been actually pretty good to me. It's going to be kind of hard to see. See the stamp here. Innova Beast X. So this is a 10-speed disc, so maybe not, maybe now we're getting a distance driver. I don't know. I've got all these together. That's what we're going to go with. So, but it's a DX plastic, and it was pretty beat up when I found it. As far as you can tell, it's been played with quite a bit. But I can throw this and get a great flex line out of it, and I know it's because it's so beat in. I know I don't have a 10+ speed arm, so I just know that this is one that it's beat in enough that I can get a really good flex on, and it helps me get some extra distance on certain holes. So I definitely enjoy that aspect of it. Another disc that I have that I like a lot that's been really good to me down the stretch has been Prodigy F5. This is in the 400G plastic, which is nice. I like the 400 plastic, a little bit of flex to it, but it's not. The only thing I have to say about this is it's not tacky like I like. It's a little bit slick, so when it gets a little bit cooler, I don't use this as much just because of the slipperiness. But it's also a little bit lighter than the other discs that I throw, and because of that, I think is where I get a lot more. I can get more oomph into it, and I can get that flex line that I want out of it. So definitely enjoying that as well. That's going to go in the glow section. Next up is a disc that I actually found. Again, another one, no name, no number. And I haven't figured out how much I like it yet, but it's a Discraft Pro D Plastic XL. When I found it, I was like, what is XL? I've never heard of it. And this thing is domy. I mean, it is pop top. But in looking into these a little bit more and everything, like the numbers align pretty well with what my arm is. So I've been throwing this a little bit, and I know it's kind of beat in, so it is a little bit understable, but working with it more and more, and I'm liking it. So I'm going to continue to throw it this year and see what I can do with it. Um, it's a really with these fairway drivers. I have a lot of them, and it's kind of finding where I sit in that range to know what I'm going to be throwing in the future. So we'll see with that one. I'm not 100% sure yet. I know it's an older disc, an out of production disc, so we'll have to see what comes down the line with that. Next up, this one I'm really excited about because it's one that I got this off season. I haven't been able to throw it yet, which is really frustrating. For those of you that don't know or haven't followed me, I live in Northeast Iowa. Right now, we are like in the negatives for high temperatures and a bunch of snow on the ground. So playing out in the snow is not something I'm really too keen on right now. So I can't wait for the weather to warm up so I can get out and throw this. But it's an Axiom Clash. Nice fairway driver here. Very, very excited about this. I have a Clash that I really wanted this disc, and when I did finally get it, I couldn't wait to get out and throw it. I need to get out and throw it a little bit more. I'm very excited for that. So we'll see where this one ends up down the road. Next up is probably one that would qualify as a distance driver, I guess. It's one that I keep in the bag just because I might need something like this in certain circumstances. We have one hole that I on the course that I play a lot that is a nice straight shot, but it's a hard left and it's not a real long hole. So having something that is going to move left a little bit more consistently than just a fairway driver is nice. And that's this DX Wraith. So an 11 speed, so distance driver. It even says distance driver right on it, but it's also a DX. It's plastic. It's pretty beat in because I found this disc, and so it's a little bit more understable than the numbers give it credit for. And so with that, I'm able to throw it a little bit better. This is one that I can throw on that specific hole, and I know exactly where it's going to go. So definitely helpful. And the last two fairway drivers that I actually have in my bag are a little bit different than what we've seen. We've seen a lot of understable stuff. Now we're going to move into more stability. And the first one is going to be uh, a must-have in everybody's bag is an Innova Champion Firebird. Love this disc for my flicks. There's one hole in particular. This one's got a little bit of a dome to it. Not a real big dome, but it does have a little dome to it. There's one particular hole where it is a hard left and it is a long left. So, I mean, you're going a short distance straight and then a pretty good dog leg straight to the left, almost a 90-degree turn. And this disc, I'll tell you what, this disc is wonderful for that hole because I can throw it on a forced ante and it will cut around that corner and then fade back. I've put this thing within like 30 feet of the pin off of that hole. And I know I'm not talking about the holes all that much in detail, but it's an incredible disc and an incredible shot. And I'm getting to the point now where I can really put some more distance on it with that forehand. So I definitely enjoy the Firebird. And along with that Firebird, maybe fighting for space in the bag with that Firebird is the FD3, Discmania FD3, and it's a Crush Boys. Eagle McMahon, shout out to my guy Eagle. He's probably my favorite pro out there. Um, I love this disc for the same reasons as the Firebird, same flight numbers and everything. And obviously, they're both produced by Innova ultimately. But this disc is very similar to that in the fact that, and similar to the Firebird in the fact that I can do exactly that. I can throw a forehand, I can put a little bit of an ante, forced ante on it, and I can get the full flex on it and get some distance when I need it. If I have a tough lie, it's another disc that I can use as a get out of jail free to help me with that. So definitely helpful. So that's what I've got in my bag for actual discs. Besides that, I know everybody talks about what else do you have in your bag? I've got a flight towel. Shout out to Flight Towel. Love these guys. Not only is it a great towel, but I also have it with a Prodigy F5 uh, handle on it, so it's nice to warm up with. I love that. And then the bag that I'm actually using, I should probably talk about that a little bit, is the Dynamic Discs. Love this Ranger bag. It's definitely been good to me. I love all the storage. And then I have a few pins here. Obviously, I have your big germ, take your medicine, helps you hurt less. Definitely have learned a lot from those guys. Iowa Disc Golf got a rep. Parked, I'm a big dinosaur fan, so the Jurassic Park reference, and then Titan Disc Golf, got to give them a big shout out as well. Love that. And this bag has been wonderful for me. I love it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just been good. It's nice to be able to carry around a whole bunch of discs and take my time getting to know them. And speaking of getting to know them, let's talk a little bit about discs that I'm going to be getting to know. Actually, these are discs that I already know. These are my glow discs. So we're going to talk about glow discs. What am I putting with for my glow rounds? Because we play some glow rounds here in Northeast Iowa. Well, I putt with the Envy. So I putt with the Glow Envy. Nice Eclipse Envy from Axiom. I got this baby brand new. So she shines like the Dickens. And it is great. I had probably an 80-foot-ish throw in playing glow with this, completely in the dark. Could see the disc, could not see the basket. Shine, like a UV light over so I can kind of see the basket and through Envy, and it was kind of fun watching it just go. And then you hear chains and the disc isn't moving anymore. It's pretty cool. But love this disc, love the Envy. For my fairway, I have an Axiom Crave in the Glow or the Eclipse. I love the Crave. It's definitely a fun disc. It's a nice speed for me, good fairway driver, and this one works out real well in the dark too. Good Eclipse glow on that. And then for another, we talked about the Buzz, the Glow Buzz that I have, and I also throw for my glow rounds. I also throw a Latitude 64 Fuse, Johnny McRae's Zombie. This one glows pretty cool. I like this. It's a pretty good stable mid-range from what I found. At least it flies for me that way. It's pretty stable. So that one in my Buzz, because it doesn't glow all that well, I don't use it all that much. So those are my glow discs that I've been using there. And then also I had to get a glow Sexy Bird. This disc is tremendous in and of itself, let alone the glow. It's a very good color glow. This disc, the plastic on this is sexy. It's tremendous. I love the tackiness. I love how it feels. So it's great. I love the Sexy Bird, especially the Glow Bird. So definitely good. Now here's a few discs that I don't have in my bag, but I'm trying to throw or have thrown, and it depends on situations. One is a Nova, Iowa Hawkeye colors here. I like the Nova a lot. The only problem that I have with the Nova is I'm still getting to having the touch that I need with the backhand to be able to throw this consistently without turning it over. And a lot of times when I say I'm turning it over, it's because I am starting it on an Annie. And so that's part of getting my form down and everything like that. This is a good disc for that because it forces me to really focus on that. Next up is a disc that I use every now and then, but I'll take out of my bag if there's any sort of semblance of a wind. And that's a West Side Discs Underworld. I like it a lot. When I get it to work for me, it flies incredibly well. I can get a full flex out of it, even by throwing it flat. I can hyzer flip this disc, which is nice for a 7-speed for a fairway driver for me. But like I said, any sort of a wind, especially any sort of a headwind, and it's just there's no chance whatsoever. I can roll this disc too. I can make a roller out of it. I'm not real great with the rollers yet, but I like the Underworld. And this one I haven't used, but I'm interested in trying out a little bit more. It'd be more on the stable side of things as far as the mid range goes, and I love the stamp on it, and that would be the Innova Avatar. I just love the stamp. I love the homage to all their different discs and everything. And it's just a cool little disc here that I'm looking at. I like overmold, as you can tell. I'm a big fan of gyro, throwing gyro. So the overmold technology there. And then another disc that I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more is use a little bit more is the Link, Discmania Link. This is an exo hard Link. But I do like the feel of it. I'm going to try throwing it a little bit and see how it feels going from there. And also in my glow discs, I've neglected to mention, I haven't actually thrown this too much yet, but I have an Axiom Halloween Glow Crave. Like that a lot. So then let's go into discs that I haven't thrown yet, but I'm going to be trying a lot more, or trying this year and seeing how they go. First one, this one is just it's a beautiful disc. Also, it's a Cosmic Neutron Axiom Cosmic Neutron Trace. Just a beautiful, beautiful color disc and great stamp on this. I don't know yet. It's a pretty disc and it's an 11 speed, so we'll see how my arm progresses. That's kind of a maybe later in the year kind of thing. This one I'm pretty excited about. It took me a little bit to track one down, and it's pretty domey, but it is a pink Discmania X out. It is an FD, an original FD. So this is the 7-speed, -1 turn, I believe, and that's what kind of attracted me to it, was having a little bit understability. Right now, it'd be good for me to have some of that. So definitely interested in trying this guy out and seeing what happens with him. Another disc I'll be trying this year is one that I got for Christmas, thanks to my wife. I picked it out, but she gave it to me for Christmas. Another one that's pretty domey, got a little bit of a dome to it. Staying with the gyro MVP kind of idea, this is a Streamline Drift. So this is a 7-speed, -2 turn, at another fairway that I think could be really, really fun for me to throw. Um, Really anxious to get this out there and throw it around and see what happens. I'm going to need to do some major field work, I think, before I even get out onto the course. And this is the disc that I'm probably most excited for this year to try out. Seemed to be really high on everybody's list last year, as far as after it came out and how much they liked it. And that would be the Discmania Essence. So this is an 8-speed, -2 turn, excuse me, and I think it fits into my arm range perfectly. So I'll be really interested to see how this plays out, this disc, and how well I perform with it. Um, that's really what I have for discs right now. Um, we'll see. I don't know. I'm definitely far from being any sort of a competitor in anything, but I do plan on trying to get into at least one tournament this year just to test my mettle as far as that goes and get that experience of trying out a tournament. I don't know if it'll be a solo tournament or a doubles tournament. My friend Josh, that I mentioned before, that I've gone with, him and I have considered doing a doubles tournament, so we'll see what we can do there. But I love the sport. I love the community, and I hope to continue and grow within it. I hope this has been kind of interesting. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, definitely let me know, because I'd love to learn a little bit more and play a little bit more and all that good stuff. Disc suggestions, that kind of thing. Let me know. You can find me if you're looking for me on social media. On Instagram, you can follow me at joshwennis_27. You can find me on Twitter at WennisJosh. Those are my two main disc golf forums. I don't do too much on Facebook. I have other Twitters that are dedicated to things other than disc golf. So, but those are the ones that you can follow and find me and reach out to me and let me know what you think. So, thanks so much, guys, and we'll talk to you later, I guess.